All right, so in this video, I'm going to show you how to avoid that that downfall that relationships experience after the honeymoon phase is over, and how to use that in order to solidify attraction, solidify love and affection through giving a guy space to fall. And I'm gonna show you guys how to do it. This is gonna be a very, very practical video that will give you guys the understanding about what it takes and what you have to do in order to use a honeymoon phase and not just dwell in it and not just enjoy it, but actually use it to grow your relationship. The key to, so in the honeymoon phase, right, the reason why most honeymoon phases usually most relationships don't go past the 3-month period is because you guys exhausted. You guys exhaust each other through not giving each other the proper space to fall, like Robert Greene says. And so the key to giving a guy space is to allow the seed of interest and attraction to grow. Once you have that initial interest, which you have in the honeymoon phase, you can seed it with weakness and vulnerability and then take a step back. All right. So it's important to use absence whenever the guy has your attention and has some form of attachment, which is during the honeymoon phase. The taking a step back is to simply deepen the connection, not to hurt him. We're not hurting him or using any of the dark and manipulative tactics. This is just creating space. All right. So it's best to use it. It's best to use this later in the relationship, not during the first week or so, but when it has solidified and you guys are boyfriend and girlfriend, but you want it to be a little bit stronger. All right. So once he's gotten comfortable with you, or once you guys establish the patterns when you use this, it's important to realize that being around him once the connection is made makes him pull away. That's what tends to happen. Like, you guys spending too much time together in the beginning, even though it doesn't feel like it's right. Initially, spending too much time does fuck it up. You just don't notice. That's why a lot of relationships don't go past the 3-month period. A lot of women say guys don't appreciate them, right? Now, doing this, making him feel like he's losing you, making him feel like he's losing you, like taking a little step back. You're not hurting him, you're just taking a step back, makes him appreciate and value you more. That's what tends to happen. For example, if you had a family member ever go to jail, or a family member ever get the threat going to jail, or a friend going to jail, when they come back, you appreciate them more, right? Because you almost lost them. So it's kind of like they came back from the dead. All right, so how do you do this, right? You gotta allow the guy to get comfortable initially. That's why you got that honeymoon period, right? You gotta allow him to get comfortable, establish a pattern of behavior, acting, and texting, wherein you consistently text him back in a certain way. You consistently act in a certain way, which is showing attraction, giving him affection. You consistently show that you're happy to be around him, right? And you consistently text him and calling at the same time, same rate, with the same kind of intensity, right? And then suddenly you take a subtle step back. Not from 10 to 5, no, but from 10 to possibly 9 or 8. You see, be less enthusiastic, less happy around them, less responsive, but do it subtly. It has to be a subtle step back. And mind you, don't be afraid if it's too subtle. It's okay. Guys will notice. You see, or plan a trip. For example, another way you could do this, or it's like planning a trip together, right? You guys plan a trip together, and then suddenly act cold, and then suddenly cancel. You see, for example, you guys are planning a trip, like, yo, let's buy tickets for this trip next week. Okay, cool. You guys are in the honeymoon period, right? Suddenly he's like, all right, you ready to buy the tickets? You don't respond for like 2 days, or you're like, let me think about this. He's like, what do you mean? Just let me think about this. And you're like, oh, you want to hang out today? I'm a little busy right now. What? You're a little busy? Yeah, let's hang out some other time. And then the next day, hey, how about that? You know what? I don't think we should go. What? Yeah, I'm busy that weekend. For real? Yeah. And then the next day, you act warm. You see, so he's like, what? Boom, you come back. You see what I'm saying? So it's not like you're hurting him. So plan a trip out and then suddenly act cold and then cancel. Don't make it so obvious though, you see, but let him fear why that's happening and see what happens. Because then he's gonna put more effort into the relationship. That's what usually happens. So when he says or does something that can be deemed, another way they can do this is that whenever he says something or does something that could be deemed as offensive, you see, you don't have to tell him initially, but you can initially act like, I can't believe you said that, right? And then just act cold throughout the whole day, right? Or act cold throughout the whole night. Don't be mad, but just act a little cold. Take a step back and allow him to feel the loss for a day or two. For example, it could be anything. Like, for example, if he says that he was hanging out with some see that could be almost, for example, like with a short-term perspective, it could be when the guy texts you and be like, hey, you want to hang out tonight? Like, what you doing? He texts you at 5 at like 12 a.m. at Friday night, right? Hey, you want to hang out? And you don't text him afterwards. And he'd be like, oh fuck, why did you not text me? Maybe because I texted her what you're doing on the Friday at 12 a.m. Like stuff like that. Like, act cold when he does something that could be seen offensive, so that when you're away from it, he thinks. So don't just do this instinctively, do this strategically, and just look for the little occasions when you can act cold, so that he might think that maybe it's his fault. And that's the point, that then he's going to try to reconcile what he lost through trying to impress you, trying to make you happy, and trying to get you validation. And then you reward that. You see what I'm saying? So that's one thing that, yeah, you do. Another one is if you friend zone him. For example, allow him to see that he has you, right? This doesn't have to be in the honeymoon period. This could be when you guys are talking and you guys are sort of dating and you guys are midway to becoming official and whatnot. And so you allow him to see that he has you, like, oh fuck, like, I think she could be my girlfriend, all that sort of stuff, you know, man. I can't wait to post a picture with her so all my friends can see, and all that sort of stuff. And then right at the moment when he feels like that the relationship has shifted from friends to relationship, act cold. You see what I'm saying? But don't be mean about it. Just be friendly, but less sexual. That, like, I'm not saying act cold, like, don't text me, but just be less sexual. You see, less intensity, less sexualness, and then what's gonna happen is gonna try to amp up the sexual tension. You see? That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, girl? You know? So act in a sexual way, lure him. Another way is acting in a sexual way, lure him and orchestrate scenarios like Netflix and chill that indicates and invites him to make a move, right? And then suddenly stop him. Again, this is like not during the unright honeymoon period where you guys are in a relationship, but you guys are on that fever pitch. But rather, when you guys are dating, and you guys are about to be a relationship. When you guys are kind of dating, when you guys are dating, but you don't know how it is. You guys are just almost becoming a relationship, and then you orchestrate a scenario where he says, "Oh fuck, like we're hanging out again," blah 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 blah, and then you friend zone him, not through initially telling him we're friend zone, but through saying, I don't think so. I think we should, I think we should take it a little bit slower. Like you take a step back. You see what I'm saying? And then you not just take a step back, but you act a little colder, less enthusiastic, and you don't text him as often, almost as though you're losing interest. That make sense? So you gotta let him feel as though he read your signals the wrong way. Wherein he was like, oh man, I thought we were going good together. What happened? Like, fuck, like this, we saw Netflix, I watched the things she wanted to watch, we saw Desperate Housewives, and now she's just not interested in me anymore. What happened? And then he's gonna work harder. You see what I'm saying? Then he's gonna go watch my other channel. Another way that you could do this is actually kind of true. And I was this guy one time. Have another male friend in your life. Like, guys hate male friends. Guys hate male friends, right? His mere presence will instill subtle jealousy. All right. So, for example, like I once had this girl who I was trying to talk to back when I first started going to college. And she was talking to me, and we would talk, and she would tell me about her boyfriend. And one day she brought him. We would always hang out before class, and then she brought him in and introduced me to him. Right? Long story short, nothing bad happened. But I remember his face. He's like, "Who are you? Who are you?" And in my opinion, that was an amazing tactic on her part, because I could promise you that ever since then they were a little bit closer, because she was like, "He's just my friend. He's just my friend." Mm-hmm. Every guy's like, I don't know about that. Trust me, I know what you're trying to do. So what tends to happen? It makes him want to keep her more. So these tactics would allow you, stuff like this allows you to erase any negative thoughts that he has about you. You see, if you fucked up and whatnot, when the guy feels like he's losing you, it'll enable him to just focus on the good. It helps him forget the bad times and remember the good. Anyways, it's Alex from mindforattraction.org. I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you guys some other time, right? Bye-bye. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys ever want to learn how to use your feminine energy to influence people, learn how to use your masculine energy to become more assertive, and also learn how to blend both energies to improve your dating life, your spiritual life, honestly, your relationship life, your family life, your career life, this is the course for you. If I had to make a course for my nieces, I have two nieces. One is 19, and one is 15.
16. Holy shit. Oh my God, he's a bad fucking uncle. He's a bad uncle. Get him. Shut up, Melissa. You should get this course, right? And this is the course that I will make for them. So, for example, watch the curriculum, right? In the first week, we're going to be showing you how to establish a strong masculine foundation without letting it hurt your feminine energy. This masculine foundation is a source of who you are, right? It's your bodyguard. Without this, whatever feminine energy you create will be destroyed by the outside, because your masculine is your shield. So we'll talk about goal setting. We'll talk about how to develop a serious attitude. We're going to be talking about how to use more logic, how to use more goal-oriented behavior. It's more how to be a man. Now the next one is how to embrace the feminine energy, right? This one will teach you about how to minimize excessive masculine traits, developing self-awareness, healing abundant feminine energy, regulating your emotion, mastering voice qualities and facial expressions, surrendering control, and allowing pain to be felt. This is honestly, this will supercharge, like Kaioken, your masculine energy. After that, we have femininity in the workplace, and how to be feminine in the workplace without letting people take advantage of you, and the nuances of how women on power should behave versus women who are subordinates in the workplace, and even the dress code. This is based on psychology, people. It's kind of insane. I'm actually excited about this one. The next week, we talk about navigating the labyrinth of male and female friendship, and this a lot of women find confusing, so we talk about that. And how to identify envious friends, how to identify the good friends, how to keep male friends, and how to keep female friends. Week 5, we talk about how to release the burden of the past and stop and destroy mental projections. This is actually really powerful. And then week 6, we talk about how to increase your observational power so that you can read people better. And we have a bunch of bonuses. The course starts at $99, and you guys can pre-order the course today at $69 before it goes out. If you're watching this, most likely I'm in the meditation retreat, so most likely I will be praying for all of you guys. And just click on the description down below of the video. Right there, you'll see it, and you can pre-order that course. It's gonna be out by the end of next month or the beginning of February of March. One of the two, people, because I have a 10-day retreat to do, and I want to finish the course after the retreat, because I think the ideas are gonna be so much better. All right, man. I'll see you guys later. Pre-order, man. I'm closing the channel.